Good morning.
What do you think is behind this delaying tactic, possible prejudicing a police investigation? What do you think's behind it, truly?
Well, I think the police have really made a catastrophic mistake by becoming involved in any of this. If you remember, towards the end of last year, when this issue first arose, the police said, well, we have a policy, we don't investigate breaches of COVID regulations from months or years ago. That's just not what we do. It's disproportionate. We haven't got the time. That was a very wise decision. And then, unfortunately, the police decided differently and said, well, we will have a look at some of this evidence, but we won't delay any publication of the report. And then we get a third position now, which is that the police are asking the government to redact or withdraw information, which is really at the heart of the whole issue. In other words, all of the detail of when the parties were, who attended, and so on. If that information is stripped out of whatever is released in the next few days, I think there's going to be uproar, and rightly so. The police have got themselves right in the middle of what is truthfully not a legal issue, but a political issue. And Sue Gray should simply be permitted to publish everything that she's found and let the British people decide what they make of it.
But, I mean, to be fair, the police are in a bit of between a rock and a hard place, aren't they? As you say, they may have said they weren't going to retrospectively look at it, but with the details coming out in Sue Gray's report, there would then be very serious questions, wouldn't there, as to if the implication was that the rules and regs had been broken by Number 10, there'd be very serious questions as to why the police hadn't got involved and why fines hadn't been levied.
Well, the problem with that analysis for me is that when you think about it, they have got an elite investigation unit at Scotland Yard, which deals with international corruption and all manner of very high-level criminal offending. And that team is now being diverted to investigate breaches of regulations. They're not even crimes. I mean, this keeps being described as a criminal investigation. It's not even a criminal investigation. It's an investigation of breaches of regulations, which, as you say, can only result in a £200 fine. So I think, frankly, the public are more interested in the facts than whether anybody's given a £200 penalty notice or not. What people want is to understand who held the parties, who was responsible for organising them, and which members of the government were aware of it. And if Boris Johnson was not only aware of it, but partying with staff and colleagues, the public are entitled to know that now, not at the end of a months and months long police investigation, which in the end is not going to achieve anything from a legal point of view. So I just think that this is a godsend to Boris Johnson. I mean, there's nothing the government wanted more than to have the police seeking to restrict what could be commented upon and published. And, the truth of it is, Sue Gray is an extremely experienced and very senior civil servant who has herself been involved in questions of redaction over the years and what can and can't enter the public domain. So she well knows that the police have absolutely no power to restrict her from publishing, and she will, I am sure, make, I hope, a robust, independent judgment about what she needs to do next.